Okay, welcome back everyone to the PT2 podcast. I'm here with Savannah again today. Today we are going to talk about how to put yourself in this situation and then to deliver either an in-service or a program slash class at a facility, whether it's an ILF, ALF. Those are great marketing opportunities to put yourself in front of a whole group of your target clientele and be able to generate referrals from that. So with that being said, Savannah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Absolutely.
All right, so let's start by talking about one, how do we even put ourselves in the position to get the chance to do something like that, whether it's a class or an in service or get in front of that type of clientele when we're talking about facilities?
Great. Our first step is to figure out the who or the person that's really in charge of managing these types of things because at every facility or ALF, it's going to be a different person. Sometimes it's going to be the activities director. Other times it's going to be the DON that kind of manages connecting the dots on that. And so you want to make sure that you just start by connecting with the person rather than just immediately walking in and trying to sell this program, this in service, or whatever type of educational seminar you're about to do. So start by connecting the dots and making sure that you know all of these lead people within the facility. And once you know your who, then you're able to really target how to really come up with it and present it as a value and a resource add to the facility. And oftentimes, a lot of facilities actually they love having these things, and it's the one thing that providers don't tend to really offer at said facilities. An example type like opening that you could give in having a conversation or trying to bring it up is that I love working with your residents and I've been coming in for a while and I'm so appreciative of the opportunity to be able to see them. Some of them have mentioned that they really struggle with their balance, and so I'd love if we could maybe just set up an educational seminar or a talk about balance. And I have a demo PowerPoint available if you want me to send it over to you. Maybe we can hash out a time or a day that it would be good for me to come by and introduce myself to everybody. And the value in that is that one, these facilities are always looking for somebody to bring in to kind of educate the residents. But two, it builds kind of the community aspect of being and living in one of these communities. So falls are preventable. That's kind of the number one thing. They want their residents to stay there. And a part of that is making sure that they're healthy. These are just a few quick tips, tricks. Doesn't have to be more than 30 minutes. So make sure it's just nice and short and sweet. You've got something already prepped and available for our PT2 therapists. Presently, we do already have a fall seminar or fall prevention seminar already prepped and ready for you if you'd like to use it. And there are plenty of other potential topics, nutritional topics or orthopedic topics. But I always like to say use something that is relatable and can get people to kind of engage with it. And so they can see you in action and see you as the value add.
Yeah, backing up, I think there's two situations. One, if you're already seeing a resident in that facility, it's obviously
Mm,
much easier
yeah.
because you being there, you treating that patient every week, you're going to run into either the activities coordinator, social worker, a resident type of manager there, and they're going to see your face multiple times before you start maybe even talking with them.
Mm,
So that's kind of situation one. If you're in that situation, obviously, I say see that resident a time or two, but go introduce yourself. Say, hey, I'm so and so. I work in this facility. I see a few of the residents, and I'm sure they all love me. They all love you, and we love to actually maybe do something in the future. Just introduce yourself. The more they see you and the more that patient starts raving about you at that facility, it opens the door for one, them just to send you referrals. But then,
mhm.
secondly, an opportunity to have a longer conversation with them because they love to know your story. And when you tell them your story, you tell them you're building your own, mobile practice and this is what I do. Say, hey, I would love the chance to help your residents.
Mm,
Not I'd love the chance to get more patients or anything like that. It's I would love a chance to help your residents. I am doing XYZ with Susie and she is really benefiting from that. Do you think I could put on a class or a presentation to help lower risk for falls, to help keep people more active, to help people get up from chairs better? In that conversation, they're going to be like, it's a no brainer. You're telling me you're going to come in here and teach my residents stuff. Awesome. It's a no brainer for them on their end. So that's how, you have to approach it when you are maybe already in the facility. If you are going in cold, obviously you're going to go in and I'd say it's quick, 5 minutes, try and make some introductions, shake some hands, either with the front desk people, see if you have the opportunity to introduce yourself to someone else, shake hands, say, hey, you can even tell them you see residents in there or you work close by, and then pop out. And I would go back for the next 3 weeks and try and go back and introduce yourself and say, hey, in the area, I actually maybe I'm doing work at another facility. I just did this type of presentation for their residents. I would love to come in and educate, train, teach, help everyone here on said topic, which is my specialty. Who could I talk to on setting something up like that? That's where you have to plan
Yeah.
those few weeks and know that you're not going to get the first time. Maybe you're not going to get the second time, but then use, hey, I am doing this for them over there and we're having good success. I would love to be able to obviously go and do this for you guys. So that's how I would do it when it's cold. What do you think?
Exactly. Yes, there were a couple things that you just pointed out, which is one, you led with being helpful instead of being salesy and trying to pitch it. So that's huge because if you're helping them, that means you're helping them do their job better and look better for their residents. So that's really where this is focused around. So that's huge. And exactly, you're not always going to get a yes on the first try, but if they see that you're consistent and you continue to show up, that's really where you get
Mm,
yeses. And oftentimes people really give up at that first or second try if they don't get the opportunity to meet that person. Or let's say you email or you call and they don't answer you. Well, show back up because
yeah,
these are just as busy as we are, right? So when you show that you're really expressing your intrinsic interest in what they have to offer for their residents and that you know that you have the value add for them, then ultimately they're going to end up giving you a try. I mean, why not? They have really nothing to lose. It's free, it's helpful to the residents, and oftentimes they really love it because it's just something a little bit different than what
yeah.
they're used to. And people like to learn at any age we want to learn. So I think
Mhm.
it's wonderful. Yeah, you really explained it well.
But now let's talk about how to prepare. First and foremost, you need to collect patient information. And by that, I mean like a sign sheet. So you need to have brought in one, obviously your business cards, two, maybe your rack sheets or brochures. But three, you want a big signature list. One with the patient's name. Two, what would you say, their phone numbers if possible?
Phone number. Yeah, 100%.
And then usually these patients don't, emails is not a great thing. But what would you say besides name and phone number on that sign sheet, if anything?
Name, phone number, potentially who their provider is. That would be
Yeah.
helpful. And I would just kind of maybe have my own internal system, like a little star next to it if there was a patient that was really or potential resident rather that was really interested in
Yeah.
receiving more information or starting services. You really want to know if any of them have had a recent fall. That's a huge indicator obviously of you being of value to them. So, yeah, I mean, demonstrations are really powerful and I would potentially have that sign-in sheet on the front end and then after you speak to people, I mean, that's kind of
Correct.
you can use that as your system to
I
potentially capture more
Yes.
information
I
if
would, if you're in a room or you're in that type of setting, I would sit at the front and introduce yourself to everyone who walks in and have them sign. Say, it's so great to
yeah,
meet you. Thanks for coming. Shake their hands. Please just sign on the sheet here. That way, one, you're getting FaceTime and you're introducing yourself to everyone that's showing up. Then two, you're confirming that they are putting down their information there.
yeah,
So that's how I'd start. And then once everyone's there, great. Now you can go up to the stand or wherever they have you and then deliver your in service or
yeah,
presentation. And like
yeah.
you said, make it fun. You know, our clientele is 65 and up. They need to be engaged. They do not need to be lectured to. Or props are awesome, cool bands, or just unique things that can get them engaged or you can pass around. They need to be
Props.
doing stuff the whole time. Right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I love that. Props. I always like to say jokes, like,
Mm,
come with a joke prepared, or even if it's something that's already built into your, like, PowerPoint presentation where it's just funny and if it gets a couple people to laugh, obviously not maybe not everybody's gonna laugh because I have
hmm.
a different sense of humor. However, laughing is medicine, you know? And
Yeah.
I just like to say do things where people themselves want to share because that's kind of important too. They wanna hear your story, but a lot of times they want you to listen to their story. So if you're sharing a little bit about yourself, oh, is anybody else from Boston? By a show of hands, who in here has had a recent fall? I know it's like just close your eyes and raise your hand, and just kind of make it organic, make it so that people actually do want to raise their hand, talk, share, and get them in teams or whatever the case is. You get the residents involved at some level where they're having to raise their hands or having to think at some type of maybe semi-critical level and are involved in it rather than just like you said being lectured to or spoken
Yeah.
to.
At the end of the presentation, you must do a call to action. And what I mean by that is you want to one, explain their benefits, say, hey, after we've just gone through all this, do you guys know that you have 20 visits a year, PT and OT, to work on everything we just talked about? I'm going to be in the building for the next month, and I would love the opportunity to work with some of you. Please just raise your hand or come see me after. If there's something you've been hurting or dealing with lately, and I want to see if I can help. So don't ask them, do you want therapy? Say, come talk to me after if you've been dealing with something so I can see if I can help you with, my services. And that's a really good hook and a call to action at the end of it to be able to get some patients right from there. You never want to leave a presentation with no follow up or no next steps. So give those residents an immediate next step because they're warm right now because you just delivered it and they're thinking about what's been going on with them as an opportunity to call to action and hook it.
Yes, absolutely. You really couldn't have said it better. There's such a small window there where
Hmm.
they've invested in really getting to know you. The longer the time in between these talks extends, the harder it is to really
Yeah.
get them locked in. Yeah.
And I'd say, obviously, when you have that list, anyone who doesn't come up to you, call them the next day, call them later that day, and say, "Hey, what'd you think about the in service, etc."
Yeah.
And then follow back up with the coordinator because I'm sure someone will be there watching you. Say, "Hey, this went really well. Maybe we can get on a monthly cadence of me coming back and then doing another thing in a month." You want to become a staple in that facility. They are such a dense area of all your target clientele, you want to be a fixture in that community. So any excuse that they give you to come there and be able to help the residents, you have to take advantage of it.
Yes. Yes, 100%. And you can even ask them too, which I've seen some of our other therapists do. Well, what topics really resonate with you, or if you had any
Yeah.
topics that you brought up? Because once you're in and you're doing the talks on a regular basis, residents are going to be like, "Oh, can you do one about back pain? Oh, can you do one about
Hmm.
this?" And so they're going to kind of come up with the ideas for you, which makes it even easier. Might as well speak to what they want to hear about or what they want to learn about and connect with you about.
Perfect. Well, let's wrap it up there, Savannah. Thanks for coming
Great.
on. If
Thanks so
anyone
much.
else wants to learn more about how to market themselves or build their mobile practice, please reach out to us. Go follow us on Instagram at PT2 Florida. Obviously, follow our YouTube page here, and we'll see you guys on the next one.